Ashoka's pillars stand as testaments to the transformative power of human compassion in shaping the course of history. These ancient monuments bear witness to the profound impact of one man's conversion on the fate of empires. As we embark on this journey through the shadows of time, we find ourselves at the threshold of a revolution that would forever change the face of humanity. It is a tale of conquest, of bloodshed, and ultimately of transformation. The year is 269 BCE, and the mighty Mauryan Empire, forged by the iron will of Chandragupta Maurya, stretches from the Himalayas in the north to the Deccan Plateau in the south, its dominion unchallenged. In the imperial capital of Pataliputra, a city of grandeur and beauty, with its intricately carved wooden palaces and bustling marketplaces, a young prince named Ashoka is growing up amidst the opulence and splendor of royal life. Born to Emperor Bindusara and Queen Subhadrangi, Ashoka is the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the Mauryan Empire. As a member of the royal family, Ashoka is groomed for greatness, receiving the best education available, honing his military skills, and learning the intricacies of statecraft. The Mauryan Empire, at the height of its power, is a complex and multifaceted entity, with a sophisticated administrative system, a powerful military, and a thriving economy. The empire's extensive trade networks stretch from the Mediterranean to Southeast Asia, bringing exotic goods, ideas, and cultures to the Indian subcontinent. As Ashoka navigates the treacherous waters of court politics, he is surrounded by advisors, priests, and philosophers who shape his worldview and influence his decisions. One of the most significant influences on Ashoka's life is the presence of Buddhism in the Mauryan Empire. Although the exact nature of Ashoka's early relationship with Buddhism is unclear, it is evident that he is exposed to its teachings and principles from a young age. The Buddha's message of compassion, nonviolence, and self-discipline resonates deeply with Ashoka, sowing the seeds of a transformation that will eventually change the course of his life and the fate of the empire. As Ashoka comes of age, he is increasingly drawn into the vortex of imperial politics with its intrigues, alliances, and rivalries. His father, Emperor Bindusara, is a just and fair ruler, but the empire is not without its challenges. The constant pressure of maintaining control over such a vast territory, coupled with the threat of external enemies and internal rebellions, takes its toll on the imperial family. Ashoka's own position within the family is precarious as he navigates the complex web of relationships between his siblings, stepmothers, and other relatives. As Ashoka navigates the intricate landscape of imperial politics, he becomes increasingly embroiled in the struggles for power and influence within the Mauryan Empire. His father, Emperor Bindusara, faces numerous challenges, including the threat of external enemies and internal rebellions, which demand swift and decisive action. In 2770 BCE, Bindusara appoints Ashoka as the governor of the taxation province of Ujjain, a strategic location that controls the trade routes between the eastern and western parts of the empire. This appointment marks a significant turning point in Ashoka's life, as he is now entrusted with considerable authority and responsibility. During his tenure as governor, Ashoka demonstrates exceptional administrative skills, earning the respect and admiration of his subjects. He implements various reforms aimed at promoting economic growth, reducing corruption, and improving the overall quality of life for the people under his jurisdiction. Ashoka's experiences in Ujjain also deepen his understanding of the complexities of governance and the importance of compassion and empathy in leadership. The city's diverse population, comprising merchants, artisans, and scholars from various regions, exposes Ashoka to a wide range of perspectives and ideas, further broadening his intellectual horizons. Meanwhile, back in Pataliputra, Emperor Bindusara's health begins to decline, triggering a succession crisis within the imperial family. Ashoka's brothers, particularly Susama, the eldest son, start to maneuver for position, seeking to secure their claim to the throne. The situation becomes increasingly tense, with alliances forming and tempers flaring. In 269 BCE, Bindusara passes away, plunging the empire into a period of uncertainty and turmoil. As the imperial family gathers to mourn the passing of Emperor Bindusara, the air is thick with tension and anticipation. The funeral ceremonies, which last for several days, provide a brief respite from the intrigue and politicking that has been simmering beneath the surface. However, once the rituals are completed, the succession crisis comes to a head and the empire teeters on the brink of chaos. The War of Succession, which ensues, is brutal and devastating, with various factions vying for control. Ashoka's brothers, Susama and Vitashoka, emerge as his primary opponents, each seeking to claim the throne for themselves. The conflict rages on for several years, with Ashoka facing numerous challenges and setbacks. Despite being outnumbered and outmaneuvered at times, he perseveres, relying on his cunning, strategic thinking, and the loyalty of his supporters to eventually gain the upper hand. In 2665 BCE, after a protracted and bloody struggle, Ashoka emerges victorious, ascending to the throne as the third emperor of the Mauryan Empire. As Ashoka consolidates his power, he is confronted with the grim reality of the devastation wrought by the War of Succession. The empire lies in ruins, its people suffering from the effects of conflict, famine, and disease. The new emperor is faced with the daunting task of rebuilding and restoring order to a shattered realm. It is during this period of crisis and transformation that Ashoka's exposure to Buddhism, which had begun earlier in his life, starts to have a profound impact on his thoughts and actions. The teachings of the Buddha, with their emphasis on compassion, nonviolence, and self-discipline, resonate deeply with Ashoka, inspiring him to embark on a path of spiritual discovery and philosophical introspection. As Ashoka delves deeper into the teachings of Buddhism, he becomes increasingly drawn to the concept of dharma, or righteous living, which emphasizes the importance of moral principles, self-discipline, and compassion. This philosophical framework resonates with his own experiences as a leader, particularly in the aftermath of the devastating War of Succession. Ashoka begins to see the potential for Buddhism to serve as a unifying force, capable of healing the wounds of his empire and promoting a sense of shared purpose among his subjects. In 2664 BCE, Ashoka convenes a gathering of Buddhist monks and scholars at his court in Pataliputra, seeking their counsel on how to integrate the principles of Dharma into his governance. One of the most influential figures to attend this gathering is the venerable monk Moggaliputta Tissa, who plays a significant role in shaping Ashoka's understanding of Buddhist philosophy. Through his interactions with Moggaliputta Tissa and other learned monks, Ashoka gains a deeper appreciation for the nuances of Buddhist thought, including the importance of nonviolence, tolerance, and self-reflection. As Ashoka's exposure to Buddhism deepens, he starts to implement policies that reflect his newfound commitment to Dharma. He establishes a network of hospitals and medical facilities throughout the empire, providing care for humans and animals alike. Ashoka also initiates a series of public works projects, including the construction of roads, bridges, and irrigation systems aimed at improving the overall quality of life for his subjects. These initiatives are designed to promote the welfare of all living beings, regardless of their social status or background, and to foster a sense of community and shared responsibility. The city of Pataliputra itself undergoes significant transformations during this period, as Ashoka seeks to create a physical environment that reflects his vision of a harmonious and compassionate society. The emperor commissions the construction of numerous temples, stupas, and monasteries, which serve as centers of learning, worship, and community engagement. One of the most notable architectural achievements of this era is the creation of the legendary Ashokan Stupa, a magnificent structure that stands as a testament to the emperor's devotion to Buddhism. As news of Ashoka's conversion to Buddhism spreads throughout the empire, it has a profound impact on the population. Many people, inspired by their leader's example, begin to explore the teachings of the Buddha and adopt the principles of Dharma in their own lives. The spread of Buddhism during this period is facilitated by the presence of missionaries and monks who travel extensively throughout the empire, sharing their knowledge and wisdom with others. Ashoka himself becomes a powerful patron of Buddhism, using his imperial authority to promote the dissemination of Buddhist texts, art, and architecture. The emperor's commitment to Dharma also leads him to reevaluate his approach to governance, as he seeks to create a more just and equitable society. Ashoka establishes a network of officials, known as the Dharma Mahamitras, who are responsible for promoting the principles of righteousness and compassion throughout the empire. These officials are tasked with overseeing the administration of justice, protecting the rights of marginalized groups, and fostering a sense of community and social cohesion. As Ashoka's commitment to Dharma continued to shape his governance, he embarked on a series of ambitious projects aimed at disseminating the principles of Buddhism throughout his vast empire. One of the most notable endeavors was the construction of the Ashokan Pillars, towering stone monuments that would serve as beacons of the emperor's devotion to the Buddhist faith. These pillars, often topped with intricate carvings of lions, bulls, and other animals, were strategically located at key sites throughout the empire, including important trade routes, pilgrimage centers, and urban hubs. The first of these pillars was erected in the city of Sarnath, a major center of Buddhist learning and worship. This pillar, which still stands today, features 4 majestic lions perched atop a cylindrical shaft, their faces serene and powerful. The inscription on the pillar, written in the ancient Brahmi script, proclaims Ashoka's commitment to the principles of Dharma and invites all who pass by to embrace the teachings of the Buddha. Similar pillars were erected at other key sites, including Topra in modern-day Haryana, Meerut in Uttar Pradesh, and Kausambi in Bihar. The construction of these pillars was a testament to Ashoka's administrative prowess and his ability to mobilize vast resources in pursuit of his vision. Thousands of skilled laborers, including stonemasons, carpenters, and engineers, were employed in the quarrying, transportation, and erection of these massive structures. The pillars themselves were often crafted from single blocks of stone, some weighing as much as 50 tons, which were then transported over long distances using a combination of ramps, pulleys, and levers. As the Ashokan pillars rose across the empire, they became potent symbols of the emperor's authority and his commitment to the spread of Buddhism. They also served as important landmarks, guiding travelers and pilgrims along the extensive network of roads and trade routes that crisscrossed the empire. Many of these pillars were accompanied by inscriptions known as the Edicts of Ashoka, which outlined the emperor's vision for a just and compassionate society. These edicts, which dealt with topics ranging from animal welfare to social justice, provided a unique glimpse into Ashoka's mind and his aspirations for his empire. One of the most famous of these edicts is the Rock Edict 13, which was inscribed on a massive boulder in the town of Girnar in modern-day Gujarat. This edict, which dates back to around 25-7 BCE, expresses Ashoka's profound regret over the devastating war he had waged against the kingdom of Kalinga, which had resulted in the deaths of over 100,000 people. The edict goes on to outline Ashoka's commitment to nonviolence and his desire to promote the welfare of all living beings, human and animal alike. This remarkable document, which is considered one of the most important in Indian history, provides a poignant insight into Ashoka's transformation from a ruthless warrior to a compassionate leader. The spread of Buddhism during Ashoka's reign was not limited to the construction of pillars and the dissemination of edicts. The emperor also played a crucial role in promoting the development of Buddhist art and architecture, which would go on to influence the cultural landscape of India for centuries to come. The establishment of grand monasteries, such as the one at Taxila in modern-day Pakistan, provided a focal point for Buddhist learning and worship, attracting scholars and pilgrims from across the ancient world. As Ashoka's empire continued to evolve, the city of Pataliputra remained a vibrant center of Buddhist culture and learning. The emperor's palace, which was said to be adorned with exquisite gardens and ornate fountains, became a hub of intellectual and artistic activity, attracting some of the most brilliant minds of the ancient world. It was here that Ashoka would often engage in lively debates with scholars and philosophers, exploring the intricacies of Buddhist philosophy and its applications in everyday life. The influence of Buddhism on Ashoka's governance can be seen in the numerous welfare programs and public works projects that he initiated during his reign. The construction of hospitals, rest houses, and veterinary clinics, for example, reflects the emperor's commitment to promoting the well-being of all living beings. Similarly, his efforts to protect endangered species, such as the elephant and the deer, demonstrate a profound respect for the natural world and a recognition of the interconnectedness of all living creatures. As Ashoka's empire continued to flourish, his commitment to Buddhism remained unwavering, and he became increasingly involved in the development of the Buddhist Sangha, or community of monks and nuns. In approximately 250 BCE, Ashoka convened the Third Buddhist Council, a gathering of prominent Buddhist scholars and monks at Pataliputra. The council's primary objective was to settle disputes and clarify the teachings of the Buddha, with the aim of promoting unity and consistency within the Sangha. One of the key figures involved in the Third Buddhist Council was the Venerable Moggalaputta Tissa, a respected Buddhist scholar and monk who played a crucial role in compiling and editing the Buddhist scriptures. Ashoka's support for the council and its endeavors demonstrates his deep respect for the Buddhist tradition and his desire to promote the welfare of all living beings. The Third Buddhist Council also marked an important milestone in the spread of Buddhism beyond India's borders. According to historical records, Ashoka sent emissaries to various regions, including Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Central Asia, to propagate the teachings of the Buddha. These missions not only helped to disseminate Buddhist ideas, but also facilitated cultural exchange and the transfer of knowledge between different civilizations. In Sri Lanka, for example, Ashoka's emissary, Mahinda, is said to have introduced Buddhism to the island nation, where it would eventually become an integral part of the local culture. The Sri Lankan chronicle, the Mahavamsa, provides a detailed account of Mahinda's mission and his interactions with the Sri Lankan king, Devanampiya Tissa. This early Buddhist text offers valuable insights into the spread of Buddhism in ancient Sri Lanka and highlights Ashoka's role as a key patron of the faith. Meanwhile, back in India, Ashoka continued to promote the welfare of his subjects through various public works projects and welfare initiatives. The construction of roads, bridges, and canals facilitated trade and commerce, while the establishment of hospitals, rest houses, and veterinary clinics demonstrated Ashoka's commitment to the well-being of all living beings. These endeavors not only improved the quality of life for his subjects, but also helped to promote social cohesion and stability throughout the empire. The Rock Edict II, inscribed at Girnar in modern-day Gujarat, provides further evidence of Ashoka's efforts to promote public health and welfare. This edict, which dates back to around 25-7 BCE, outlines the emperor's instructions for the establishment of medical facilities and the provision of healthcare services for both humans and animals. The level of detail and concern for public welfare evident in this edict underscores Ashoka's reputation as a compassionate and enlightened ruler. As Ashoka's reign progressed, his focus on promoting the teachings of the Buddha and improving the lives of his subjects remained unwavering. The emperor's commitment to nonviolence, tolerance, and social justice continues to inspire admiration and respect from scholars and historians around the world. Through his remarkable legacy, Ashoka remains one of the most fascinating and influential figures in Indian history, a testament to the power of compassion and wisdom in shaping a more just and equitable society. The spread of Buddhism during Ashoka's reign also had a profound impact on the development of art and architecture in ancient India. The construction of grand stupas, such as the one at Sanchi in modern-day Madhya Pradesh, reflects the emperor's patronage of Buddhist art and his desire to create lasting monuments to the faith. These magnificent structures, which often featured intricate carvings and sculptures, not only showcased the technical skills of Indian craftsmen, but also provided a visual representation of the Buddhist teachings and the principles of Buddhism. The Sanchi Stupa, in particular, is renowned for its exquisite gateway carvings, which depict scenes from the life of the Buddha and various Buddhist mythological themes. The level of detail and craftsmanship evident in these carvings demonstrates the high esteem in which Ashoka held the Buddhist faith and his desire to promote its teachings through art and architecture. As a testament to the enduring legacy of Ashoka's patronage, the Sanchi Stupa remains one of the most celebrated and revered Buddhist monuments in India, attracting pilgrims and scholars from around the world. In approximately 240 BCE, Ashoka embarked on a pilgrimage to the sacred sites associated with the life of the Buddha, including Lumbini, Bodhgaya, and Kushinagar. This journey, which took the emperor to various parts of his vast empire, allowed him to connect with the Buddhist community and reinforce his commitment to the faith. According to historical records, Ashoka's pilgrimage was marked by grand ceremonies and public gatherings, during which he interacted with local leaders, monks, and ordinary people, promoting the teachings of the Buddha and encouraging his subjects to adopt the principles of Buddhism. Ashoka's visit to Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha, is particularly significant, as it highlights the emperor's reverence for the sacred sites associated with the life of the Buddha. The Ashokan pillar erected at Lumbini, which features an inscription commemorating the emperor's visit, remains one of the most important archaeological discoveries in the region, providing valuable insights into the history of Buddhism and the patronage of Ashoka. As Ashoka's pilgrimage came to a close, he returned to his capital, Pataliputra, where he continued to promote the teachings of the Buddha through various means. One of his most notable endeavors during this period was the establishment of the Third Buddhist Council, which aimed to clarify and standardize the Buddhist scriptures. The council, held around 2350 BCE, brought together prominent Buddhist scholars and monks from across the empire, including the esteemed monk Moggaliputta Tissa. Under Ashoka's patronage, the council produced a comprehensive and authoritative compilation of Buddhist texts known as the Tripitaka, which would go on to become a cornerstone of Theravada Buddhism. The Third Buddhist Council also marked a significant turning point in the spread of Buddhism beyond India's borders. Ashoka, recognizing the potential for Buddhism to unite his vast empire and promote peace and understanding among its diverse populations, began to dispatch missionaries to neighboring regions. These missionaries, often accompanied by Indian monks and scholars, carried with them the teachings of the Buddha and the newly standardized scriptures produced by the Third Council. One notable example is the mission sent to Sri Lanka, led by Ashoka's own son Mahinda, who would go on to play a pivotal role in introducing Buddhism to the island nation. As Ashoka's reign drew to a close, he continued to oversee various public works projects and welfare initiatives, many of which were designed to promote the well-being of his subjects and reinforce the principles of Buddhism. The Rock Edict, the seventh, inscribed at Gunnar, provides evidence of Ashoka's ongoing commitment to social justice and animal welfare, outlining his instructions for the protection of living beings and the promotion of nonviolence throughout the empire. This edict, dated to around 2300 BCE, demonstrates Ashoka's enduring dedication to the values of compassion and tolerance that had come to define his rule. In the final years of his reign, Ashoka's health began to decline, and he gradually transferred power to his son Dasaratha. Despite his failing health, Ashoka remained committed to his Buddhist faith and continued to promote its teachings until the end of his life. According to the Mahabhamsa, a Sri Lankan chronicle, Ashoka died in 232 BCE, at the age of 72, surrounded by his family and advisors. His funeral procession, which wound its way through the streets of Pataliputra, was said to have been attended by thousands of mourners, including monks, nobles, and ordinary citizens, all of whom came to pay their respects to the emperor who had brought peace, prosperity, and Buddhism to their lives. Following Ashoka's death, his son Dasaratha ascended to the throne, but his reign was marked by instability and conflict. The Mauryan Empire, which had reached its zenith under Ashoka, began to fragment and decline, eventually succumbing to internal power struggles and external pressures. Despite this, Ashoka's legacy endured, and his pillars, which had been erected throughout the empire, remained as testaments to his vision of a unified and harmonious society. The pillars, many of which still stand today, continue to inspire wonder and awe, their intricate carvings and inscriptions serving as a reminder of the transformative power of Ashoka's rule and the enduring impact of his commitment to Buddhism. As the Mauryan Empire gave way to new dynasties and empires, Ashoka's pillars were often incorporated into the architectural and cultural heritage of subsequent rulers. The Sunga dynasty, which rose to power in the 2nd century BCE, adopted many of Ashoka's administrative and artistic traditions, including the use of pillars as symbols of imperial authority. Similarly, the Gupta Empire, which flourished from the 4th to the 6th centuries CE, drew inspiration from Ashoka's architectural style and incorporated elements of his pillar design into their own monuments. The discovery of Ashoka's pillars in the 19th century CE sparked a renewed interest in the history of the Mauryan Empire and the life of Ashoka. Archaeologists and historians, such as James Prinsep and Alexander Cunningham, worked tirelessly to decipher the inscriptions on the pillars and uncover the secrets of Ashoka's reign. Their findings, which shed new light on the history of ancient India, helped to establish Ashoka as one of the most important figures in Indian history, a ruler who had left an indelible mark on the cultural, artistic, and spiritual heritage of the subcontinent. Today, Ashoka's pillars remain an integral part of India's cultural landscape, a testament to the enduring power of his vision and the transformative impact of his rule. The historical impact of Ashoka's pillars extends far beyond the boundaries of ancient India, serving as a timeless reminder of the potential for human beings to shape their world through empathy, understanding, and a commitment to the greater good. As the pillars continue to inspire and awe us today, they remind us that even the most enduring legacies are built upon the foundations of individual actions and choices. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.